Just wanted to vent today, Uh, everything's been fine until, I meet my ex-wife during some meeting, with child psychiatric healthcare, and just wanted to vent about it because, yeah, it went bad because I got annoyed over the fact that I can't still disagree with my fucking ex-wife, about things, even though we've been divorced for like over 7 years, more than 7 years. It's crazy, It was our main issue when we were married too. The moment I disagreed on something, it's like it was called we're fighting. We're having a fight. You're why are you fighting? I'm like, no, I'm not fighting. Just disagreeing with you. We can have different perspectives. But it's with women. The issue is, if you're a man, you've been married. You can't disagree with a woman ever, with your woman. With your ex or partner. So yeah. I just told her, I don't see this. I don't have the same as difficulties with our daughter at home like she has. And she, she started talking, about how I see it, like that invalidating my view, like saying it's not how I think, in front of the actual nurse. And I got mad. Of course, I got angry, because if somebody speaks for you that you haven't asked to speak for you, of course you get annoyed. So I told her, you can't speak for me. That's not how I see it. I see a lot of improvements, I told her. And she started like, why are you fighting and getting angry? Like, I'm getting angry because you're speaking for me, I told her, in front of the nurse. I have the right to my own opinion. I have the right to my own view. And the nurse agreed with me, but I calmed down and then I apologized. But the thing is, I get vilified by my fucking ex. I get vilified as some kind of angry man, dad or something, because that's what women do with their exes. They use these manipulative ways with their emotions and making us seem like we're so angry and so hostile, and they're always the victim and they're so sensitive, and oh, the main issue is not me, it's her. It's like she lives like in a pigsty. It smells of urine in her fucking apartment because she has so many animals, so many, this hay that they pee in, it's like even flies in her apartment. It's disgusting, And I have order in my home, my daughter, I make her clean up after her, and all of that, that a parent should do with a child, but at her mom's place, she does everything. She's free to do everything. She lives like a pig, Her mom does. The only time her mom cleans her apartment is when the fucking authorities come to her door and wants to see how she lives, because the neighbors have been complaining about all the screaming and noises from my daughter, and the chaos. Because my ex-wife can't keep her on the check, She can't make her behave in any way or shape. So she acts out all the time at her mom's. And then, of course, the answer is medications. The solution is medications, when the actual problem is that the mom is failing to educate our daughter and as a parent. And I end up like the villain because I tell the doctors, I don't think medications are the solution. There's something else behind this. And I can plainly just say it's the mom that can't raise our daughter properly, because she has her own issues. She has this bipolar nature, she has bipolarity, and I don't want to spit on bipolar people. I know the people are struggling with it, but there's so many research on bipolar people having issues seeing other people's perspectives. And my ex-wife can't see anybody's perspective. So it's always her perspective. And if you disagree, you're a villain, you're bad, you're evil, you're fighting. So that's basically my meeting today. I was fighting, I was evil. Our daughter just, uh, got upset, of course, and she sees this as I'm the one fighting when I'm just disagreeing with my ex-wife. So she's like, it's this vile fucking system turns, my daughter against me. Because when a man can't disagree with a woman, he's seen as as a problem. I hate it. The toxic one is my ex-wife. I've sacrificed everything for the peace and calm between us for our daughter's sake. I even moved here, to a new apartment and closer to our daughter's school. I've made so many changes and bettered my life. But my ex-wife remains the same, you know. She lives like a pig. She doesn't clean her apartment, nothing, you know. She has no order at home with her daughter. It's like, oh, I'm the issue, man. I'm the fucking problem. It's like I just sacrifice everything to make our relationship work. I even moved here, you know, and still I'm the bad guy. Today I was the bad guy, you know. My daughter didn't want to even say goodbye to me because she saw just an angry dad because my fucking ex-wife was speaking before me you know, a grown-ass man. She's speaking for me in front of another person. I told her, you don't get to speak for me. I have my own view. I told her, our daughter is much calmer at home with me. That's how I see it. And how it is at your place, it's not how I can't relate to that. That's your own view. But she went like, you know, she was literally, you know, removing my right to have my own view. And then I told her, you know, in front of the nurse, you don't get to speak for me. You know, that's why I get angry, because you're speaking for me. What kind of, you know, who would react like calmly when somebody's speaking for you when you haven't given them that authority, you know? Shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of here. Just a hater. Fucking NPCs, always there to I just remove these people, you know? Yeah, I'm glad you agree, Omega, you know? So yeah, that's the problem with women. Of course, the women are not like that, but the majority of women, they can't allow another person to disagree with them. You know, every fight, every discussion is, you disagree with them, they see it as fighting. Because they go from a perspective that emotions they have are the only truth. Their subjectivity is the only truth. When everybody has their own subjective perspective on things, and everybody has their own outlook, and you have to understand it. If you can't understand it, you have a fucking mental problem. So this is the issue I am having with my recurring issue with my ex-wife over and over again. You know, like, she's probably gonna send me a huge message later that my daughter was so sad and yada yada yada. It's my fault. Blah blah blah. You know. Oh my god. Yeah, everything in my life is going well. You know, better. I have a new home, beautiful home. Everything's. I'm in a. I have to go to work. You know, after this stream here, I'm going to work. But for a few hours, you know. And everything's going well in my life, but the main issue is there's still the same issues with my ex-wife, you know, relationships with her. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't undo your past, and there's no point in regretting it, because everything in life teaches you something, you know, makes you grow. I have that perspective, but damn, I wish. Oh yeah, I know what kind of women to avoid. Never ever will I ever get in a relationship with a woman like my ex-wife. Whenever I see this type of pattern in women, I instantly ghost them or delete them, you know, tell them I have no interest in them. Yeah. I can understand how I'm seen as problematic as a dad, you know, because I make my daughter want to learn things, you know, do homework after school, you know. My ex-wife was even criticizing me, you know, for making my daughter do homework for 5 to 10 minutes at home, because she fails to do it herself, because she throws tantrums when she tries, and she wants, maybe there are better ways to do it, like, I know you have good intents, but maybe not, you know. She feels pressured to do it. Like, she doesn't feel pressure to do it, because she tells me herself she wants to do homework today. Dad, can we do the clock? I tell her, yes, sure, we have a set hour. The thing is, my ex-wife, she gets offended that she can't make our daughter do homework because she can't control her behavior, you know. But I can do it. I have structure. So she was even telling the nurse, you know, like in front of her, like, that she assumes I'm doing it the wrong way, you know, like, because she can't do it, you know. She can't make our daughter do homework, and she blames. Her explanation is something like, "She has all of these diagnoses and issues. We should only let the school teach her. But what, as a parent, you have the obligation. You have the obligation to teach your children too something. You can't just let them be at home watching TV, playing video games. Doing nothing at home ever. Especially if you find a way that works to motivate them to learn. Why shouldn't you do it? So my ex-wife is trying to make me look like I'm some fucking dictator because I have order. I have order and discipline at home. I make my daughter pick up the stuff when she throws it on the ground. After day I tell her, you need to clean up. You can't just loiter everything and expect dad to do everything for you because you need to take responsibility. But no, apparently that's a bad thing in Sweden because we have a fucking pussy ass country with parents that are so effeminized, so fucking weak behavior. They can't even be parents. They can't even be parents anymore. You can tell your child to clean up after them. You can tell your child that it's important to want to learn something and not just watch brain rot on fucking TV all day when you get home. It's important to want to have some fucking goals in life. But that makes me look bad in this fucking country. Like I might even risk, Omega, my daughter, not wanting to have anything to do with me anymore when her teens because she sees me as a bad person now because I'm so strict, I'm so disciplined. I'm so much more harsh than mom, because at mom she can just roll around like a pig, in dirt in an apartment that stinks pee from animals and is dirty 24/7, but somehow I'm bad. Well, all I want my daughter is to have some kind of structure in her life because she lacks it. And I see how it affects her. I see how it affects me. I grew up without structure and I turned out like shit my life, I'm just in my 40s starting to turn things around because I was allowed to live like that. I know what it does to you. You have no structure in life, no discipline, your life will go to hell. You will either become a drug addict, a prostitute, or a fucking criminal. Yeah, I'm sorry your country is no better, Omega. Without order, without any structure, your life will get fucked up. And my life is far from perfect. I still have issues. I still need to better a lot with myself, But I'm improving my life. I'm all about life improvement, But my ex-wife is the opposite, She doesn't give a fuck. She just wants to live in peace and calm with our daughter. So she fails in making our daughter do things at home, cleaning the apartment after herself. Having order in her home. Our daughter is the boss in my ex-wife's home. She tells. My ex-wife just obeys our daughter. Basically, she just tells her to keep quiet on the phone when she calls her. Like quiet, mom. Whenever she speaks, quiet. If she doesn't like what my ex-wife says, she tries that crap with me. I tell her, you don't tell me to get quiet. I'm your dad. You don't speak to me like that way, And she goes like, she gets angry, but then she calms down. But my ex-wife can't do that because she can't raise her properly, A child shouldn't be the authority in your own home as a parent. You can say it's because of diagnosis and different brains. I'm fucking autistic myself, And I can behave. I hate that crap. Yeah, I'm sorry for this first stream here being just about venting, I just need to vent before I go to my work a few hours. I have it's not a full-time job or real job in that sense, it's just a few times a week or months, on a place they found for some people with autism and issues with fitting in, But at least I'm trying to do right for me, to get a life, to put it away. So I'm trying to improve my life. So yeah, I'm on the right track. I'm making changes. I'm trying to become a better person in every way and shape. And yeah, but still my life is hard. And my main issue is with my relationship with a certain person I mentioned many times. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I mean, I have issues too. I'm not very emotional. I'm not very empathic in the sense that I'm very, oh, honey, please, like always, cuddling and speaking like my daughter is some kind of baby, like an animal pet, I speak to my daughter with my normal tone. But apparently, yeah, I will. I will. Thank you for Cortex. See, I can say your name, but thanks. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect, but I try my best. I just try my best, but somehow I'm always the villain. I'm always the bad guy. And it would pain me so much if my daughter ends up hating me, in her teens because of all this. But one day I believe that life always shows the truth eventually. And she will understand. I was not the bad guy in this. I was just doing the right thing that her mom failed to do. And that's because she lacked the discipline and order in her life. And somehow it made me look like a bad guy. But she will understand when she's older because my ex-wife had the same issue with her mom and her dad. She used to think her dad was the bad guy until she got older and she understood her mom was the issue. That pattern repeats a lot in life, apparently. So if it happens that my daughter won't like to come to visit me anymore, in her teens because she thinks I'm so strict, I'm so controlling, yada yada yada, she will understand later in life and understand I was always doing the right thing for her. But anyways, yeah, I'm doing that, Omega. I want to motivate her to learn and that she's not limited and have just this diagnosis and she's crippled because she is different all the time. I try to make her understand she can learn. She doesn't have to be confined to being autistic and ADHD. She's not just her diagnosis. I want her to want to learn and improve it. Thank you guys for the support here. Appreciate it. I'm gonna go to my job now. I'll try to make a more positive stream next time. Just want to show people here that we don't have perfect lives, even if we like to make streams and just be kind of a clown or a weird entertainer on YouTube. Thanks you too, Cortexi, Sachami. Have a good day too. A blessed day. I'll see you around. Take care, Omega. I'll be talking to you some other time.